friends, it's been a little while. Today's the last day of school for a lot of you, and I met my very dear friends, SJ and Rosella Ellis Bella, and their mama at an ice cream shop that is fantastic in Palm Harbor. It's called the White Igloo. It's fabulous. Everybody has to go. And SJ challenged me to do a story today because I hadn't done one in a while, and I started a YouTube channel and there's only one story on it, so I need to do more stories to get more followers. So I have a book picked out, and it's a book that I got in Ireland when we went, my husband and I went there in March. Welcome to my story time, my story time, my story time. Welcome to my story time. I'm so glad you're here. We're going to read a story, a story, a story. We're going to read a story. I'm so glad you're here. And this little book, it's cute. It's called Spuds and the Crock of Gold. And it is by Seamus O'Connell, illustrated by Danielle Archimede. And it's really cute. It looks like it's about a little leprechaun. I haven't read it, so we're gonna read it together for the first time. Okay, so here goes, SJ. It was the 1st of May, the start of summer, but for Spuds, pots of gold, it was not a good day. 2 things had gone horribly wrong. First, he had been carrying his crock of gold back to Toadstool Cottage to polish it. The sun had been so warm, he thought he'd sit down and rest his back. Before he knew it, he was snoring away. He was taking a little nap. When he woke up hours later, he jumped up and looked around. Shamrock shakes and chocolate cakes. My crock of gold is gone, he exclaimed. Someone had stolen his crock of gold. You know that leprechauns have gold, right? And they like to hide it. Spuds ran back to Toadstool Cottage, looking sourly at Bonnie and Tyler, the 2 Goldcrests who lived in a chestnut tree in the garden. Oh, shut up with that horrible singing, he said. But the birds continued to whistle with their power ballad. What a grumpy old gruncheon, they said. He was very grumpy. Spuds burst into the kitchen of Toadstool Cottage. His wife, Rose Goody Two-Shoes, and his pet mouse, Steve, jumped. It's gone, he wailed. I'm a pauper. The crock can't have gone too far, Rose said. You don't understand, said Spuds. A leprechaun without his gold, he might as well be a troll. Meow, said Steve, for Steve was really convinced that he was a cat and not a mouse. Just then, the second horrible thing happened. Spuds' bulbous nose began to quiver. Just a little at first. Then the tip began to turn pink and then red. His nostrils began to wiggle and flare. Before he knew it, Spuds was inhaling deeply, the tingle in his nose like 1,000 feathers. Wah, choo! For it was the beginning of summer, and Steve had begun to molt his winter coat. One of Steve's tickly little hairs had floated up Spuds' large nose. Yes, I know, Sasha. Sasha, it keeps bringing me a little toy. Let me just throw a toy for her real quick. Here you go. Whoop. The next morning, things were no better. Steve had been shedding lots and lots of tickly hairs overnight, and Spuds woke up with a giant sneeze, and then another, so violent that Steve jumped up and hid under a small chair in the corner of the room. And all around the bedroom, there were millions of hairs. They were stuck to the curtains, glued to the bed sheets, and mashed into the carpet. My husband is deathly allergic to cats. This is not good. But mostly they were stuck up poor Spuds' nose. He and Rose got to work, dusting curtains, shaking out sheets, cleaning carpets. Bonnie and Tyler whistled a song to cheer Spuds up as he grumbled and griped. "What are you looking at?" he roared. Although he was interrupted by a sneeze, Bonnie and Tyler jumped at the terrific noise and flew away. Those are interesting names for birds, Bonnie and Tyler. Very interesting. Finally, after cleaning up all the hairs, he was about to put them into the bin. "Don't do that. Give them to me," Rose said. She carefully took the clump of hair and put it safely in a little box. "Things aren't always what they seem. Treasure doesn't always gleam." Spuds gave a His crock of gold had gleamed beautifully. And over the next few weeks, Steve's molting got worse and worse. The hair got all over Spuds' smart green suit and hat. It stuck to the sofa and to the furry mat. But the sneezes were what drove Spuds mad. His morning prayer always ended with wet splodges all over it. And, morning paper. His morning paper always ended up with a wet splodge all over it. And one choo! Sent carrot soup flying across the kitchen. Cha-cha. Rose did her best to clean all the hair she could, putting it into a little box. "Are you still carrying on with that nonsense?" Spuds sighed, and Rose shook her head. "Things aren't always what they seem, and treasure doesn't always gleam," she said. I wonder what she means when she says that. Do you think she knows where the gold is? Let's keep reading. I don't know. As the summer continued, the sun got hotter and hotter. Steve the mouse squeezed his eyes shut, willing his hair not to fall out. Spuds, his nose dripping and snuffling, made all the wishes he could, but the hair still went everywhere. Even Leggers McWebb, the spider who lived in a crack in the wall, decided to leave Toadstool Cottage and visit his sister in Dublin. I've been to Dublin. It's very nice. Oh. Rose, meanwhile, got on with things. Whenever Spuds told her to throw out that dirty bundle of hair, which was getting bigger and bigger, she said mysteriously, "Things aren't always what they seem. Treasure doesn't always gleam." She keeps saying that, but what does it mean? Then autumn came, and just as the first leaves were starting to fall, Rose looked out the window. "It's time," she said, and she put the box out on the windowsill. Bonnie and Tyler flew over, taking away little tufts of hair. After a while, some of their other bird friends appeared. Before Spuds knew it, the hair was all gone. "In the snow, it will keep us cozy, making our nests feel nice and toasty." They were taking the cat hair for their nests. Did you know that birds will use cat hair? Did not know that, but I know that they use lint, and they will use yarn and different soft things that they find. They will use that in their nests. Isn't that pretty neat? Didn't know that they would use cat hair. "Oh, thank you, Rose. Thank you, Spuds." They whistled. The birds were so happy. They were very excited. And Spuds thought about the two little birds flying from tree to tree. He called up, "When you soared high in the sky, did something shiny catch your eye?" Uh-oh. "We did see something very shiny in Maggie Magpie's nest," Bonnie said. "Gold coins in a bucket, or maybe a basket." "A crock!" Spuds jumped with glee. Spuds marched over to Maggie Magpie's tree and got back his crock of gold, giving her a good scolding. She was very, very sorry. Magpies, you call someone a magpie when they're like I'm kind of a magpie, kind of a collector of things, and that's what Maggie Magpie did. Look at all these things she collected. She collected a teapot, a watch, a teacup, a ring, some glasses, a necklace, another necklace, and she had Spuds's pot of gold. And every summer after that, when Steve would start to molt, Spuds would open his windows each morning and let Bonnie and Tyler fly into the house. Within minutes, his curtains and clothes and sheets would be picked clean of all the hairs. And in return, they would whistle any song he liked and let him know if Maggie Magpie was nearby. Oh, they were comfy cozy on the beach. It's a cute little story. I like it. Oh, and that's the end. That is the end. Spuds and the Crock of Gold. There, I did it, SJ. I read a story, and I will upload it on my YouTube. So that was fun. Let's see, our goodbye song is, "I'll be back when the day is new, and I'll have more stories for you. And we'll have fun and laugh and smile, because I love you." So glad I got to read a story today. Now I have to play with my puppy because she's waiting for me. She keeps bringing me a toy. She wants me to play with her. Okay, so it's great to see you guys. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.